Hello, everyone. I am Ansley, the host of the Collaborative Podcast, and today I'm here with Terry.
Hi.
Terry, what are you involved in? Nothing?
Yeah, basically nothing at the moment. So this is like a new thing.
Fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so today we're talking about social media. So, what's your experience with social media?
I feel like social media it can be a waste of time, but it also can be used as a tool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everyone spends at least an hour a day. That's like bare minimum.
Oh, yeah.
Like on TikTok or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like the way that it's used now is like almost a way to avoid certain aspects of ourselves.
Oh, for sure.
So
Yeah, I feel like people are lying if they say that they spend less than an hour a day on social media.
Exactly.
Like, excluding, like, Spotify.
Yeah.
Spotify is 24 hours a day.
Exactly.
I sleep with music on.
Yeah.
How old were you whenever you got on social media?
I think I was around the age of like, I don't know, definitely around middle school.
Yeah.
Which can be good, but also is not, because you're exposed to such like positive aspects of people's lives,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see the negative of that.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like all you see is the good parts,
Mm-hmm. and
it kind of makes you have a perspective on life, like, why am I not always feeling good? Why do I not feel like as great as these people do?
Yeah.
But in reality, they do go through these hard times, but it's like they don't show that because it's not marketable.
Yeah, and I reference Emma Chamberlain's podcast every single episode because that's, like, the best podcast ever. But, like, yesterday I was listening to an episode, and she was talking about how not only do we have, like, one persona now, like, we have one personality, but we also, like, half of our personality is our online presence. I feel like, whether, like, it doesn't matter what app you're using, but I feel like we had this way that we present ourselves in real life, and then now we also have the way that we present ourselves online. And I feel like I think a lot of people use it as a way to, I feel like aesthetics are very important to our generation. And I feel like we have this aesthetic that we have in person, which is harder to communicate, like harder to, like, make it be specific. Like, say you want to, like, this is such a dumb example, but, like, you want to come off as, like, a stoner. And, like, that's so much harder to do in person than it is to be online, unless you're not, like, authentically, like...
Yeah, exactly. You know, like,
you don't, like, authentically smoke a ton of weed.
Yeah, so it's, like, the way you're perceived in life, like, in real life, you could say, is way different than social media.
For sure.
Which goes back to the point of what you see is limited compared to what is actually happening.
For sure. And I feel like that creates, like, a lot of, for me, it was body image issues because, like, it's so easy to pose and make yourself look a certain way. And, like, I grew up in ballet, and, like, social media is a big part of that in America especially. And you look a lot different on social media dancing than you do in real life. And so I remember that being huge because I got on social media. I remember when I turned 14, my parents let me have Instagram. And then whenever I turned 15, I got to get Snapchat because they were, like, super scared of Snap. Yeah. Which is interesting. Yeah. But, that's another point is, like, attention spans.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Lorelai yesterday about how we're living in a time where, like, right now, like, our school moved to hour-and-a-half long classes instead of just 50-minute classes every day. And we're living in a time where our attention span needs to be the longest when we're enjoying the most short-form entertainment.
Yeah, which I think the short-form entertainment that we have now can be detrimental, but also you do get more information
Yeah.
But that could be harmful because if you're seeing like certain like things on models or something, you're going to base yourself off of that
Yeah.
or try to. But it's just not like it's not reachable to get to that point.
No, and I think that kind of, like, for me, you know, you're seeing so much information all at once, and I find myself asking myself, like, okay, I just spent an hour and a half on TikTok. What do I remember?
Yeah.
And usually the only things that I remember is news, like global news.
Yeah.
And I really have to be careful. Like, there's a certain amount of news that you need to watch to be like a cultured member of society, but like I feel like for me, if I see too much,
it just like takes a toll.
Oh, it takes a toll.
Because yeah, there's a lot going on in the world right now, but if you only look at the negative, it's gonna take a negative impact on you. And
absolutely.
Like, it's just, yeah.
And the negative is the most interesting. Like, I would be lying if I said that I would be lying if I said that I'm most interested in positive news.
Yeah.
Like, that's just not how it is. Like, you want to know the bad stuff going on.
Yeah, which people are just drawn to the negative because it like gives you like an adrenaline rush almost, and so you're like getting more dopamine in a sense. So your body craves that because it's something new and like interesting. Whereas like some good news is like, oh, that's good that it's happening. Okay, what's next?
Yeah, moving on.
Instead of just focusing on like, oh, there's plastic in the ocean. Like, what else? Like, what else is going on? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, not to attack Bree, but our friend Bree, I feel like it really freaks her out, especially.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to talk with her about it because she knows so much about environmental stuff, especially. Yeah. It's funny because she knows a lot about environmental stuff and I know a lot about political stuff, and then the conversations are really interesting. Like, yeah. Interesting. But I think I try to like limit it to like 30 minutes a day that I'm like specifically looking at news.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
If it comes up on social media, I immediately am like not interested.
Yeah.
Because I don't need to get that from social media.
Yeah.
Because who knows? Who knows what these people are saying?
Yeah. Sometimes it's not sometimes it's not creditable.
Yeah.
So it's like you could see this and then you could be like, "Oh my gosh. Every house is going to catch on fire in the next day."
Yeah.
Like,
we're screwed.
But you got to look at it like, is this going to be real? Is this a viable thing that's going to happen?
Yeah.
Or is someone trying to get clout?
Yeah.
So,
for sure. I feel like for me, kind of like moving away from the news specifically, but I used to have the most severe FOMO. Oh my God. I would like, it really bothered me.
Yeah.
And I think it's because I have this idea, because of social media, what the teenage experience is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And if I'm not living the teenage experience, quote unquote, I think that like I'm not living life to the fullest.
Yeah.
And I think bottom line is that I don't enjoy the things that the media and social media portrays to be the most important.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. It's like you see what other kids your age are doing and it's like, I should be doing that because that's what every teenager does.
Yeah.
But it's like you don't see the part that you would relate to. So.
Yeah, which is interesting because there's so much algorithm that goes into everything, but still, like, I don't feel like I see very much of the experience in life that I want to have.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's just the community that we're surrounded by, because I feel, yeah, it feels like literally the end of the world.
Yeah, I'm like, they don't like me anymore. What's happening?
Yeah. And that was one of the questions that I have is, what do we have to deal with now that older generations did not have to deal with?
Perfect. I already like talked slightly about this.
Yeah.
Um,
I feel for one of them is the conflict over text.
yeah.
Because that's a big thing. Like, I'd rather hash it out in person
Yeah.
than over text. Because I can be vicious over text,
Yeah.
which is bad. And,
Yeah.
like, I'm aware of that.
Mhm.
Because, like, there's something about texting that it doesn't feel like you're actually talking to the person.
Yeah, it's like you're just, I mean, it's because you don't see them face to face, and you're just like, you're just talking to a screen, basically. You're like, hello?
Yeah.
No one responds. You just read.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's almost like trying to respond to a book.
Exactly.
So you're like reading the text, but you're trying to talk to it, and
Yeah.
nothing happens.
Exactly. And I feel like there's a big part of like eye contact and body language and all this stuff that you don't get over text that is just crucial to
Yeah.
understanding a person and like actual connection.
Yeah.
So,
And I think that the fact that it's so easy for us to just send a text to someone makes it vastly different to like our parents, because they could not plan things as easily as we could.
mm-mm.
So they would have to either be together in person to plan something or call them, and that wasn't always like possible.
Yeah.
So I think a big difference is that we can find a more diverse group of people who relate more towards us compared to our parents, who they only had the people around them.
For sure.
So
And I feel like for me, it's a surplus of more surface level connection.
yeah.
And then for them, it was less of a deeper connection,
Yeah.
which, you know, you could say what you want about that. But I think I'd rather have less of a deep connection than more of a, which I feel like I do.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't really have acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I only really have, like, friends.
Yeah.
Like, which
Yeah.
is, like, 3.
Yeah. I mean, that's not bad.
which
I mean,
which I'm fine with.
yeah.
I'm content.
Same. I have like my neighbors and then you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hang out with anyone else. I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't want to talk to some random person and not actually like connect,
Yeah,
because I don't want to just be there to be there.
for sure.
It goes back to the thing of you feel like you're missing out.
Absolutely.
Like, you need to have 20 friends.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, if you have one friend and you're super close and you get like all that you want out of a relationship from them,
Mm-hmm.
then who says you need more?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
There's no point. And I feel like I had like a literal mental breakdown about this, is our lack of privacy. And I feel like that's a big thing that's different with my parents versus me. And it's funny because, like, we're tracked.
Yeah.
At least I am. Like, my parents have my location.
Yeah. Same.
And my mom will tell me stories about when she was a kid, and I'm like,
Like,
this is unfair.
yeah. It's like your experiences are being put onto me.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, as well as just the apps that we use. Like, I feel like, for one, our parents have our location. And then also, like, my location is always off on Snap.
mhm.
Because just, like, the thought to me that 20 people know where I am all the time,
It's
I
kinda
hate
scary.
it.
Yeah.
Hate it. Like, I'm not doing anything sketchy. But,
Mhm.
like, I don't...
It's like they don't need to know your
They're-
every move.
Yeah, there's such a lack of individuality
Mm-hmm.
that comes with it. And I would say that I'm a serial individualist, which is bad, but I feel like for me it really bothers me.
Yeah. I mean, I think, so the reason why people do have their locations on is because they find comfort in it. Because
Absolutely.
it's basically like you have a safety net. So you can go off and do much more extreme things,
Mm-hmm.
because you know your friends are watching and they're making sure that you're safe.
For sure.
So,
Yeah, I feel like it depends on the person whether you find comfort or discomfort in that.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because I definitely have, so on Snapchat, I do have certain people, they are allowed to access my location.
Mm-hmm.
But they're people that I trust and that I wouldn't be concerned if they were looking at where I was.
Yeah.
So, because there are people where it's like, I really don't want you to see where I am. I don't know what you're going to do with that information. Kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And something that's really, I'm doing Senior Assassin,
Yeah,
and like being on
too.
Life 360 with like so many people, I don't like it. Like
Very.
this kid Jonah showed up to my work the other day,
Oh,
and I was like, this is such a fun game, but like, best believe Life 360 is being deleted off my phone as soon as possible
yeah.
after it's over.
I know. I went and I tried to get my task yesterday,
Yeah.
and I was scared. I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble. He's gonna like come
Yeah.
out, and there's gonna be parents in there and be like, "What are you doing out here with a water gun?" Like, I'm just
It's just
assassinating my target.
Yeah.
They're like, that's a little concerning.
Yeah.
But no.
No, it's overwhelming to think about, but then it's also like, okay, if I get in a wreck, everyone's gonna know,
Yeah,
and
they're
I'm gonna be
like,
fine.
"Uh-oh." Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So it's that comfort behind it.
Yeah,
So
for sure. Well, thanks for coming on.
yeah, I feel like we talked for so long, but also
Yeah.
not.
This was good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
I'll definitely want to come back if that's possible.
No, I
No,
don't think so.
I leave.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
can just go.
Yeah. No, never again. Oh my gosh.
Well, thank you everyone for listening, and I'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.